We are 6 weeks away from the start of the NBA playoffs. Time flies when you're having fun. We're in for an exciting finish. Lots of really close seeding. We got a good episode today. Uh, it might
Or
be time to admit we were wrong about some things. We're gonna talk about
yeah,
some people that have disappointed or underwhelmed. Post All Star and for the season as a whole. I am your host. I'm Jacob here with my boy PJ.
yes, sir. What's up?
PJ, go
What's up,
ahead
y'all?
talk to the people, man.
Oh, I just lost my shoe.
Oh my god.
That is insane. It runs in, man. Sorry about that. All right. Well, I got my shoe today.
That's what's up. What you
Well,
got, bro?
these are my first ever Jordans I ever got in my life. Um, I used to hoop in them. I actually lost the other pair of the shoe, and I like hella destroyed this shoe. My cousin gave me these. These are the Jordan 4 Fire Red Mars edition.
Ooh, fire red. Okay.
But it's actually funny. One of my friends gifted me with Air Jordan 4s. And they're basic. They're the original Fire Red, not the original, but like came out maybe like 2020 or some shit. But here you go.
Oh.
I'm a
Okay.
big upgrade
Yeah.
from the
That's kind of
original pair.
crazy.
But I said, I think it was last podcast that what made me become a sneakerhead, but it has to be this shoe. It has to be the Fire Red Jordan 4s or the Mars edition with the logo, just because that was my first ever shoe from collecting Jordans.
Yeah, bro, those are clean as hell. Especially that hit that
Clean.
upgrade. The
Yeah,
upgrade is
big
crazy.
upgrade. Just needed to
Shout out to
wait
the homie.
10 years,
Shout out to the homie.
sir.
All right. So before we get into it, we have some even more, even more positive Kai Soto news. It's wonderful. It's
Ooh,
wonderful to check in every week and see that this guy has achieved a milestone. Uh, every time I check in on him. So against what is he in? I think he's in like the B League. What is this called? Oh no, he's
is
an
this the
agent.
feeler?
He's in the NBL.
Okay.
NBL. Um
Oh, NBL. Okay.
yeah. So
That's even better.
it's he's hit 5 games in a row scoring in double figures, which is his career high.
Okay.
In his game against Neo Phoenix. Neo Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
He hit the go ahead hook shot with a minute remaining to give his team the lead. He had 23 points and 10 rebounds on the day, 11 of 14 shooting, 5 double doubles in
Okay.
his last 6. Kai Soto on the up and up. He's doing his thing in Japan right now. So big shout outs to
Okay.
our man Kai Soto.
Let's go, big man.
Keep checking in on him. Uh, maybe one day you'll get your shot in the NBA.
I hope so.
He
That Magic team,
I know
come on, bro.
he had a G League stint. He's dominating right now in Japan. So shout out to him.
Okay.
Now, while Kai Soto is not disappointing us, there are other people and teams in the NBA that are, unfortunately. And that's when we're talking. We talked a lot about playoff teams that are doing good, teams we like. It's time to go
Uh,
the other way. It's time to talk about people that are failing us at this very moment in time. And this is March, beginning of March, so anything can happen in the next month and a half before the playoffs. Well, this is right now. Some teams that might be lower than we think. So, PJ, why don't you kick us off? Why don't you give us the first name that you expected more out of?
Bradley Bill,
Ooh,
I want to know how you feel about it.
ooh, okay. No, yeah, tell me why. Tell me why.
Uh,
Just tell me why.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never been a huge fan of Bradley Bill. Like every time they would do the All Star draft, I think they would pick him last.
Okay.
Like in the Phoenix Suns, I was thinking about this earlier. Like the Phoenix Suns is basically the Brooklyn Nets without handles.
That's crazy.
Like Booker, he this year he's showing out that he could play defense. I mean, from it was also starting from last year's playoffs.
Hmm.
He showed that he could do defense. I think he had like 5 steals in 2 games, like each. And then this year he's showing out that he's even bigger than that. But like Bradley Bill, come on, dude. Like what can you do besides score? I know you can finish the game, but what can you do besides score? Can you lock up players? Can you lock up like Luca? Can you lock up whoever you're guarding against? I never think of Bradley Bill as more than just a scorer. What is he doing for the Suns team once they enter the playoffs?
Mm.
He's always injured too. Like he's showing that he's like Kawhi on the Spurs right now, like always sitting out and coming back in whenever like Booker or KD's out. I
Uh,
don't know, man. Not a huge fan of Bradley Beal.
okay.
If someone made me do a draft and he's in it, he's getting picked up last, or he can get picked up by you or whoever else.
Okay.
I just never been a fan of Bradley Beal. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh, I do want to mention that you brought it
Very
up,
good.
but the Suns have played 62 games.
Uh huh.
Bradley Beal has played in 33 of them. So he has missed almost no, he's missed over half the season. Oh no, almost half the season.
Oh
And
yeah.
for a guy that like you said is mainly there for scoring, he is averaging 18.2 points, 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists,
Uh huh.
49.6% from the field, 37.7 from three. So
All right. Let me pause you real quick.
no, go for it, bro.
Can
Hey,
you bring up Kyrie's stats? I know he's
you want
missed a
Kyrie
lot of
stats?
games.
Okay.
I
Let
know
me
he's
go.
missed a lot of games, but
Let
he
me go get
he
Kyrie.
knows.
Let me go get
We
Kyrie.
all know what Kyrie could do.
Let
I've
me get
seen him
Kyrie.
score 40 points. He comes back off like a 20 game miss.
All right, so Kyrie has played 40 games, so he's played seven
Okay.
more. He's played seven more than Beal. He's averaging 25.7 points, 5 boards, 5 assists,
Okay,
uh,
Kyrie.
49% from the field, 42 from three.
Also, okay. That's similar to Bill's stats, but I feel like Kyrie just does
I mean, he
a
scores
lot
a lot
more.
more, but he is also the second option, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean
It
the
makes
Suns
sense.
got Booker, KD.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I get you though, because I have a friend that's a Suns fan. Maybe he's listening. If he is, shout out to
Oh,
Brandon.
I have a friend that is a Suns fan
Yeah,
too.
yeah. So I visited him, or I saw him
Um,
some time ago in the I think it was in the off season. We were talking about this trade, and I was like like the names are nice, but I'm worried about how it's all gonna mesh on the court.
no,
And
I think okay. Keep on going. My bad.
oh, you're good, but I just like obviously the firepower is there. Those three guys can their top three guys can obviously all score really well,
Uh-huh.
and that that firing power can keep them in pretty much any game on any given
Hmm.
night. But is it sustainable? Is it conducive to winning the playoffs? I'm not sure, but I have to always give them a fighting chance. Uh, Mainly because of KD. I will say Bradley Beal is definitely the the third the third player of the big three.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it might be a classic case of because the this offseason was the first season for their new owner, right? Matt Ishiba. Matt
Oh,
Ishiba,
really? I didn't know that.
isn't it? I think it
I didn't
is.
know.
So I think this might have been like his splash move, of like for the team for like the fans to get excited about in his new regime. Because I mean, you wouldn't look at Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and think I need to put Bradley Beal next to those guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, if Bradley Beal can get on a heater in the playoffs, then you know, good for him. But I agree that this season, especially just speaking off the injuries, he's definitely not lived up to where he's at, to where he has been before.
I mean, if you think about it, he's the times he was playing, the times he was an All Star. This is when I think John Wall was injured too. He was the main scorer for his team. He was on a low end team, trying to push for the playoffs. Not that's not the reason why I'm not a fan of Bradley Beal. I just never been a fan of him in the first place.
Oh, okay.
To be honest,
All right, fair enough.
like there's no game where you can make me feel like, oh, this is the most exciting moment where I became a Bradley Beal fan. Like, where's the highlights? I've never like it never like showed up on my timeline. Oh, Bradley Beal. Like everybody knows Brandon Roy in his short time career and
Mm.
why he was so special. T Mac, he never went to like the second round of the playoffs or something like that. But we know how his career's so special. What's so special about Bradley Beal? I really need to know.
Yeah, on those awful Wizards teams 3 and 4 years ago, he was averaging 30 and a half points and 31 points a game. So obviously, like I said, it's on those awful Wizards teams. So it's like, obviously,
Yeah,
you take someone out of the environment, things are going to change pretty drastically. But I don't know. Like I said, my friend that was a Suns fan. At one point, he was
yes.
like,
At one
he
point. Oh yeah, at one point.
he he had Bradley Beal on his fantasy basketball team, and he was like, "Bro,
Okay.
Bradley Beal has been out for so long." I was like, "Hey, bro, that's Brad."
He's like the Ben Simmons
Yeah,
for
yeah. I was
like
like, "Hey, bro, you got Bradley. That's Bradley Beal, bro. I don't know. I I don't know what's going. I don't know if it's a Suns curse or if it's a Bradley Beal thing, but he wasn't exactly healthy the 2 seasons before this one. So only played
no.
40 games and 50 games in the 2 seasons before this one. So
Okay, okay.
all right,
Well, I mean, I hope he shows me something in the playoffs
no,
when they get there.
absolutely, absolutely.
I don't see too much for the Suns. Just I talked about it last podcast. Losing Chris Paul was like the worst thing. I feel like they could have just picked up somebody else.
All right, well, they got 6 weeks to find out what seed they are, and hopefully they get a good matchup.
Hopefully they can pass up the Pelicans. Like I said on the second podcast. Oh no, not the second, third one. I wasn't really familiar with the Pelicans, but I don't think they're gonna be like a deep playoff team. To be honest,
Okay, fair enough. All right,
who you got for me?
I think it's time to rip the band-aid off. I think it's time to acknowledge a harsh truth. Uh, Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers. So we were both big fans of this team. We were advocating for them since pre All Star break, and we still are. Still love Tyrese Halliburton. But
Definitely
since that
do.
time, they have slid from, I believe, the fifth seed. They're down to the eighth seed. Granted, they probably will not fall any further because they are still 5 games ahead of the ninth seed. So as long
That's
as they get
insane.
out of the play-in, they'll make the playoffs. But it doesn't need to be said. They have slid, and part of it is because Tyrese Halliburton is not playing up to how he has played before in the early parts of the season. Now, I do want to acknowledge he has been dealing with a hamstring injury for like 2 months now, and I
And
believe, and
he's
lots of other people believe that he's only playing to to reach the minimum a number of games played to make All NBA.
yeah.
But in doing so, he's kind of like by playing hurt, not playing as well as he has before. He's also hurting his chances of making All NBA. So it's kind of a lose lose in that regard. But like I said, the team is sliding. I cannot ignore that. Um, Hopefully, once Hallie comes back, once he's actually fully healthy and should be playing, uh, maybe they can turn it back around because they are the eighth seed, but the fourth seed is 1.5 games in front of them. So
Yeah.
that's not the race is very close, and they can absolutely turn things around. But I would definitely be lying if I'd be lying to myself if I didn't have the Pacers as the first name on my list.
I just realized how low the Pacers dropped, but I don't think they're ever gonna get passed up by the Bulls or the Hawks.
No, no,
Just
definitely
looking
not.
at I mean, definitely not the Hawks.
Yeah, I don't even. They're there
Just by
by
looking,
by default. There's nobody in the East. There's nobody in the East.
um, damn,
Yeah, I know. I listen. I because there were a few times where a post comes up and it was Tyrese's stat line of 0 points, 0 from 7 from three or whatever, and it's like, damn, what's happening? So his
I think I know what you're talking about. He got locked up by a team,
well, he's not
and he
playing
had
healthy,
zero.
so
Like that's also true.
like I said, he probably shouldn't be playing anyways, but I don't think the roster has. I think whoever else is behind him is worse than he is injured. So it's kind of like I don't know. Maybe it's okay. It makes sense that he's playing, but it's kind of like I don't know. It's just it doesn't look good. Is really what I'm getting at.
It doesn't. I didn't realize Magic's gonna be number four. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for me to accept that. I mean, I know the Knicks they just lost Jalen Brunson,
Yeah.
which is sad, and I'm gonna blame Tom Thibodeau for doing that, playing heavy minutes on that boy. But damn, that just looking at the East like just feels different to me now.
Yeah.
Uh,
The East is shaking. It's there's lots of movement. Also, do you know?
honestly, I do expect more from the Pacers. They have a great lineup to begin with. Like even though like sometimes Holly can't perform, um, like I've watched a lot of podcasts with Tyrese Halliburton because that's my guy, that's my goat, and knowing that like okay, if he can't play, TJ McConnell's a good like backup point guard for him because coach really lets him do what plays he should want to do, and with the rest of the team, like they work really good, like especially after trade deadline, they're just not executing the game. That's what they need to do right now to catch up. They could be 14 right now. Like who knows?
It's very close. It's very close. So I mean, oh
Sorry.
are you good? Yeah, it's a
My
close
my,
race.
my room.
Are you good? You good?
All right. Just cut that out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a close race. Like I said, anything could happen. I think that there are some rotational issues. I think that they're still trying to figure out their good lineups or their lineups for certain situations and all that. But like I said, I do believe in the team still. I do believe in the coach. Um, they beat a team that is gonna I'm gonna bring up later on this disappoint list,
Ooh,
but
they
uh,
did.
they're they're still finding ways to win some games. Even with Hallie not at 100%, so that's good. But I did want more out of them at this point, so they're on this list for now. But like I said, 6 more weeks, 6 more weeks to get it right. All right,
Okay.
that's all I got for the Pacers. Do you have another name?
Do I have another? Of course, I have another
Oh,
name.
then, hey,
Since we're switching up from
let
the
them know.
west to the east, the west to east.
All right,
I'm
Patrick
thinking about
Star.
SpongeBob.
All
Since
right,
we're
Patrick.
switching up from the west to the east, we're gonna come back to the west, and
Oh, okay.
we're gonna talk about Mr. 40K, LeBron James.
Oh, okay. I didn't expect this. I'm
I
curious.
mean, come on.
I'm curious. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right now, he's in a slot where it's where he could climb up to the six or keep on staying in the ninth. What's keeping him in the ninth is the losses. He has tied games with the Kings and the Mavs right now. And they
Yeah.
both got 34. I mean, he's showing a lot. I mean, I know he lost 2 games ago. to the Nuggets. The Nuggets is a big team, but he showed out, especially on that Clippers game where they were losing by 20 for the first 3 quarters, and
Mm-hmm.
then when they put
Mm-hmm.
LeBron back in,
Mm-hmm.
carry that team to
Mm-hmm.
win. Oh man, he's trying to tell everybody, nah, we're not losing. We need to win every
Right.
game so we
Right.
can make it out this damn playing.
Mm-hmm.
But the Nuggets, that's an exception. I feel like it's hard to beat a team like that. Plus, they also beat the Thunder, and right now they're 3-1 against the Thunder, and the Thunder is I think the first in the standings, or the second in the standings. Well, they're tied with the Timberwolves. It's 43 wins, 42 wins,
Yeah.
same
They're
losses.
half a game
So
behind.
it's a toss up right there.
Yeah.
But
Almost
knowing
done.
that the Lakers can own the top seeded teams, I'm pretty sure like they'll make it out somewhere. I was watching Chuck from TNT say that. Why is ESPN talking about the Lakers and the Warriors? They're not gonna make it in. If they play against the Nuggets, it's over. Type of thing. And I'm like, nah, honestly, it's just the experience right there. I know I don't know LeBron personally, but I know he can take us back to where we need to be.
So
Watching good basketball in the playoffs.
who are you disappointed? What's the who are you Are you disappointed in the Lakers team?
I brought up Mr. 40K because he's a part of that team and he's a part of how that team works.
Okay. Okay.
Plus, he got 40K and lost.
You did. Oh yeah. I just didn't expect LeBron James to be the the disappointing name you brought up.
Well, he was disappointing in the first half of the season.
Okay.
Um, it was more of AD. He has more of a he he achieved more with AD, and AD is carrying the team right now.
Hmm.
I mean, everyone's doing their part, and I've been noticing that, and I'm happy for the Lakers because, especially during trade deadline, everyone started doing their part. Everyone started playing well, but they needed to start playing well in the beginning, so they don't have to worry about being in the play-in. Because the Pelicans have never been worried about being in the play-in.
Yeah.
So, like compared to those two teams, like I need the Lakers and LeBron. I need LeBron to come back and show me 5 rings at the end of the season. I feel like he would
Okay.
have the golden career from
I mean,
there.
yeah. I mean, that would be sick.
He's
Of course.
39. If he had that fifth ring, that I think that's what like will let us know that he's either retiring soon or so on. Who knows?
Hmm.
But I didn't want to bring up Mr. 40K just because like time's ticking. We don't know how long LeBron's gonna be in the league anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
It's low key sad to me because he's been playing all my life,
No.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
all our
Absolutely.
lives.
Absolutely. No, I said one of the Lakers team was one that I brought up looking at it from or they were on my list in terms of the season as a whole.
Uh
I
huh.
think if you have anytime you have LeBron and a a person of Anthony Davis's caliber,
Mm-hmm.
you would hope you're not fighting in a play-in spot.
I definitely
You would
not.
expect to probably be one of the top teams of the conference at least. Now, obviously, they're still positive, and they would be right in the mix in the East also. So like they're just in a vacuum by itself. They're not doing bad, but thinking on what the Lakers have already achieved with LeBron and AD and where they expected to be, it's probably disappointing to see where they are right now. And
Huge.
I listed the Warriors there for the same reason. Because like we knew that their core was on the decline, but I don't think people expected it to be as as ugly as it has been. So I don't think they expected to be the 10th seed in the West. Like that's pretty crazy to think about to have Steph Curry on your team and be a 10th seed, but
Yeah.
they are still fighting for the playing spot. So they're still
I mean,
they're
I
st-
feel like they're kind of locked in
they're still
at
a dark
10.
horse kind of. But just thinking from expectation possible expectations from the preseason or the off season, I could
Uh,
see. I feel like they with the way that the all the Draymond stuff has gone down, the Clay stuff, uh, Andrew Wiggins has fallen off. Like they're definitely underwhelmed compared to what we saw just a couple years ago. So, touched on the Lakers, touched on the Warriors. Uh, Another team in the West. The one
okay.
one that I foreshadowed earlier when I was talking about the Pacers. The Dallas
Mm,
Mavericks. The
team I like.
Dallas Mavericks. 1-5 in their last six, with the worst defensive rating in the NBA over that span. Whew. I mean, we talked a lot about Luca, his potential MVP campaign, the trades they made, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford,
Hmm.
and it looked good for a sec. They were on a little win streak. They were doing their thing. And, just just yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago, lost to the Pacers by 20 points, 20 plus points. And I went in the Reddit thread to check the box score. Just I was curious to see how Tyrese did. The first two comments, essays by Mavs fans. Paragraphs upon paragraphs talking about everything wrong with the Mavericks. Now, do I think those people were 100% right? Probably not. That's not the point, though. The point is, the team is very, very flawed right now. Uh, Jason Kidd is awful, terrible coach. I don't know how we meme Doc Rivers for writing that one championship. Jason Kidd is writing a Western Conference Finals appearance where he got carried by his two best players. How does this guy still have this job? It's unreal. And a lot of people have, as you know, we've talked about Kyrie also. Both of those guys are great on offense. They're not great on defense. And to
No,
have your top two players uh, both be, I don't want to say negatives, but they're both not good on defense. So your two best players on the court, the most, they should be at least, and you have to find a way to hide them on defense, even though they're on the court the most and usually together. So just the way that the team is built, somebody called it like a really souped up version of Dame and CJ McCollum, where these guys are offensive powerhouses. These guys will score. They could do a lot on offense, but together on defense, they do not provide much of anything, which creates difficulty when you're trying to make a defensive scheme. And lots of people talking. Like I said, there's lots of talk because
there's
the Mavs lost to the Pacers pretty much in the exact same way they lost to them just a few days before. No adjustments were made. No adjustments were made. Same exact result. Same exact way they lost. Everything, all of that. So it feels like this team, come playoff time, is definitely going to be running into some walls if they aren't shooting lights out.
I don't get how Jason Kidd's not starting Gafford. Derek Lively,
Hey,
like I'm not. Derek Lively's good. Like he started off good for his rookie year campaign,
he is a rookie. He's 20 years old, so I mean,
but Gafford's really experienced of guarding these centers and starting. So and I feel like he's a good center for this team. Like okay, the first game, the one that you brought up, not the very last game, but the game they played a couple of days ago. Derek Lively, 14 minutes. 3 rebounds and 4 points. I get it. He's playing under 14 minutes, but Gafford, eh, I guess it's a little bit better. I mean, he only played 19 minutes, 5 rebounds and 8 points. I mean, but if you look at the game after that, which is I think yesterday's game,
Mm-hmm.
um, Gafford was also not starting, but he managed to get 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 16 points.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Lively, 1 rebound. That's it. Nothing else in 15 minutes. Like I feel like what would complete this lineup, you have to have Gafford in it.
Good.
I mean, I and then Derek Lively coming out as a 6 man, or I mean, there's Tim Hardaway, but apparently he's not doing anything.
Can
But
you
like
can you read me real quick how many minutes Maxi Kleber got?
in the last game or the
Yeah, the
game a
last
couple
game.
days ago,
Last game.
15. He had 15 minutes and the same stats as Derek Lively. No, they both played 15 minutes, but 1 rebound.
See,
Well,
I think that's you see that's what that's I think that's what a lot of Mavs fans' problem is. He keeps playing Maxi Kleber as like a small ball center, and it doesn't work. It hasn't worked against the Pacers. I think he tried it. What I read is that he tried that in the first game a few days ago against the Pacers, and it didn't work. So he tried it again, and then it it didn't work. So I like I said, I just feel like we already talked about what we like about this team like a few weeks ago, and they're just all the negatives are coming out again. It's just I said they've slipped. They were looking solid in the standings. Now they're back in the play-in. They're the eighth seed. They're half a game ahead of the Lakers. Only one game ahead of the Warriors. So the team is deteriorating before our eyes.
it is, and if I was the coach for this team, there's definitely a lot of lineups I could work with this. But they're hmm, their start. I don't even know what to say. Like they're starting five. Like respectfully, I know Josh Green is a talented player. You need to throw back Tim Hardaway back on the starting lineup. You need to let Gafford handle the starting lineup, and then I understand why. I guess you put the bench with Tim Hardaway and Gafford because you have a good bench to fill in for the starters and fill a lot of empty holes. But you need to have the starting five already as your best players on your lineup
Hmm.
in order to compete with a lot of good teams, even teams that are not even contending.
Now, obviously we're shitting on Jason Kidd, and I think rightfully so. And I think he should have been fired at least a season ago.
Oh yeah,
But I do want to say the roster construction is not perfect. They have not been able to build a proper team, a quote unquote proper team around Luca.
hmm
They've had their moments. I think a lot of people think that the Brunson plus Dinwiddie combo is probably the best backcourt
ever.
he's had. He's had next to him. But let's say they do fire Jason Kidd, and we can save some of the discussion for an off season type of podcast. But if they fire him, they fire Jason Kidd. You know who's available? Mike
Who's
Budenholzer, Coach Mike, Coach Bud. Jason Kidd fired from the Bucks. They hired Bud. Hey, we could see a repeat, and I think it would be great to help shore up the defense. At least get the team out of the play-in. At the very least, get the team to 40 wins
yeah?
like by now. You know what I mean? Like get them out, get them to the sixth seed, the fifth seed, just something other than this. Uh, I think Coach Bud could definitely do that for them.
I feel like I only have one problem with your opinion.
I
What
mean,
is what is Mike gonna do for this team? Like
let's
the
okay,
way he
okay.
developed, huh?
I know we can talk about because this kind of bleeds into another conversation of another name I was gonna put on, but
Okay.
um just real quick, like going from Adrian Griffin, like we've seen,
Okay.
to Doc Rivers, the difference just from having a good regular season coach from a coach that's complete ass, it's pretty drastic. Like I'll be I've talked about it. How I said I don't believe in Doc in when it comes to playoff time, but it's pretty clear that there's a difference between Adrian Griffin Bucks and Doc Rivers Bucks. And I think if you just get rid of Jason Kidd and just get somebody that knows what they're doing to some degree, an NBA championship winning coach, I think it'll at least save them from the play-in, I think. Will they win a championship? I can't say that for sure. Can we get Luca out of the play-in? I think we can. That's the gist of what I was saying, but we can have a deeper discussion in the playoffs after they fire Jason Kidd.
This is very true.
Just for
I
now.
mean, I
Just
gotta
for now.
remember that. I
Just
just
for now.
wanna that when you said that, it just piqued my mind. I was like, he developed Giannis, but there's no Giannis like players on this team.
Yeah.
Like, you really have to make a switch and be like, oh, okay, Luca, you gotta start playing defense, buddy. That's the only thing that could just pop up in my head.
That is another criticism people have had about this team. But Luca's attitude and his mental definitely needs to change for the betterment of the team.
I have a good question for you. I know this is more for the off season, but it's just a little fun activity on the side.
I go for it.
Instead of Kyrie Irving, who's a better player? Who's a better two guard or one guard you would put right next to Luca in the
Um
backcourt?
well, I mean,
It's
I've said,
just fantasy wise. Like, it could be
no,
anybody,
I know,
not
yeah.
Michael Jordan. Like,
Okay, yeah.
anybody that's playing this season.
No, yeah. I know I've said it before, way back in the first pod, but I mean Brunson really was the perfect guy next to him. It's really unfortunate they let him go. Other than him, I don't know, maybe Maxi. I don't know. I mean it'd be fun. It'd be fun.
Okay.
It'd be fun. I'm trying to think because obviously, because I feel like the two way stars at guard are kind of they're kind of a dying breed to a certain extent. So I was trying to think of somebody that plays good defense that you could put next to him
hmm
that still has some playmaking ability. There's there's not a lot of
I
options. I'll
I
be
should have
honest.
I should have stretched it out. Okay, not backcourt. I mean, just anywhere. Like, who would be that guy? Would
Um, like I said, like I said, we can think of like whole what's it called, whole
Oh,
like
no, no.
archetypes.
I just want to know who would be right next to Luca.
I know, but
Just for
I said
fun.
just generally speaking, just I would want a athletic rim protecting big. You know what I mean? I would want a guard that can play defense and play make on his own. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like I don't want to just name good players because that's kind of it's kind of easy to do that because like
Okay.
to a certain extent it's like well of course I would want Jason Tatum next to Luca or whatever because it's Jason
Okay.
Tatum because you know what I mean because like Jason Tatum kind of just fits on whatever team he's on and it's like they would be good together because they're both good. So I thought I'd be like obviously if I was gonna pick any rim protecting athletic big man I would just pick Rudy Gobert or I was gonna
Oh,
you know what I mean like that kind of that's what I'm saying though it's just like where
yeah.
else can I really go uh with that because like Luca will run your offense so the
Yeah.
surrounding pieces don't need to be that good or that specific to like his play style. Like Giannis is like a different story. Like there's certain players you wouldn't want next to Giannis for spacing reasons or whatever. But Luca's Luca. Luca will do what he does. So I feel like as I said, I still stand by Brunson being the guy that should be next to him. But you know
Okay.
they fucked
Honestly, I
that
thought
up
you were
already.
gonna bring out Giannis. I thought you were gonna say
I mean
Giannis.
that could be fun. I mean it would be good. But like I said, you could Giannis
There's
is
a
just
lot of players.
yeah. like it's easy to just say, "Oh yeah, Jokic would be great next to Luca," because no shit, like,
Oh,
like of course,
bro, that would be so much fun basketball.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it's like if I'm trying to build around Luca specifically, then there's archetypes that I would want uh,
Okay.
between the players.
Honestly, I'd say I was gonna say Giannis or Anthony Davis. Like I feel
Yeah,
like a big
yeah.
man,
AD, I think
guard.
AD more than Giannis. I think
He
AD more than
brings in a
Giannis.
lot of defense and he can stretch the floor if he needs to.
Yeah.
Just to end that short.
All
Anyways,
right.
thank you for answering my question.
Oh, of course, man. You got what's your name? You got another? I'm sure you got another name on your list.
I got another late name. I was thinking about it the other day
All right, let it fly.
because I mean, there's a team. Because I'm gonna bring it up later because I know I want to know what you got to say about that team.
Okay.
But this player, I've seen a lot of clips coming out from him, and he's looking like a returnee for next season. His name is Lonzo Ball.
Hmm.
I feel like
Hmm.
I know he's not playing this season, but he's showing a
No.
lot of clips, or it's either he's showing it or a lot of clips are leaking that he could play still. That he's moving, he's dunking, he's passing the ball like he was on the Bulls. Um, I hope he comes back. Huge Lonzo Ball fan.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, uh, honestly, Lonzo, if you're watching this, a lot of teams are not going to sign you if you're asking for that 20 million contract. You need to cut it short because, to be honest, if your career might fall short again through the knee surgeries, you might need to take that $10 million cut. But I really do want to see you playing on a contending team. Hopefully, you come back to the Bulls and they keep the pieces around you, and te- the the Bulls can work out and be a top 5 team in the East.
Ooh.
If not, I would love to see you play with the Pacers, dog.
Oh
If
my
you
god.
were a backup for Tyrese Halliburton, I think that fucking
Oh
everything would
my.
be amazing.
He's cooking.
I feel like that would be perfect. I don't want him playing with his brother. They're both injury prone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
as much as I did want to see that duo with him and his brother back, maybe in a couple years, if you get right and you don't get injured anymore, I could see that. But yeah, I know I'm speaking too much about the off season, but it's realistically the only thing we
No,
could
you're.
talk about.
I say the Lonzo Ball stuff has been very unfortunate because I also am a Lonzo fan. I really like his game, and I think he is the perfect point guard for a team that's contending. Like the way I see it, it's like he like if you replaced Drew Holiday with Lonzo Ball,
Oh my
it
god,
would be
the
it might
Celtics would
be
beat
it might
all
be
out of them.
even better. I feel like Lonzo Ball will give you. So the difference is Drew Holiday's obviously the better defender. That's his whole thing. But Lonzo will give you more consistent shooting. He give you some,
Mm-hmm.
and he'll give you better playmaking. And he probably won't even shoot as much as Drew Holiday want. Because Drew Holiday will take some shots. He'll make them.
Yeah,
He'll make them. But if you already have the dogs on your team, if you already have shooters, you don't need that. And then, you need that extra energy can just be spent towards Lonzo, playing defense. I said I feel like this archetype of point guards that are great playmakers. They're good on defense just off of like not even just off of his IQ, but he has the physical traits for it also. Like he is the perfect piece to just sit next to your like if you could get him on like the like I said the Bucks teams that had Drew Holiday, he would be perfect for. The Put him next to Tyrese Halliburton, it would be perfect. Like
perfect.
his game, and you already mentioned the Celtics. Like put him on the Timberwolves. Oh my god,
Oh,
like he. like these
Oh,
teams that have uh that already have scores that aren't necessarily known for their playmaking. You put Lonzo Ball in that team, I feel like he's just a positive. Like his defense
shoot.
is good. He's not going to get outsized by many people. He's going to hit threes and he can facilitate your offense and play make. I really I've been pulling for Lonzo. I really want him to come back strong cuz I feel like his game is it just fits so well in this era. Um next to all these guys that that are just scoring at such high clips.
I feel
He
like you can put him on any team,
right,
literally.
exactly.
I mean, besides Trey Young and the Hawks, but
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
it.
like
Except for those
you
teams that already have their, their franchise playmakers, like the Pacers, Hawks, Luca and the Mavs, like those kinds of teams. You wouldn't need another. You don't necessarily need another playmaker like that. So, but he would still be great to have on the team. Even
honestly, I don't mind having him right next to Luca.
I don't either. I think it'd be fine.
I feel like that would be a fun team.
I said it just in
Um,
terms of how much he brings to the team, it would obviously it would be insane on the Celtics or the Bucks or the Timberwolves or whatever. But or the Thunder, even the Thunder would be great too.
Thunder would be nasty. The Clippers, even though they're an injury prone team from right there,
Yeah.
would be nasty. A lot of teams, like I don't even mind having seeing Lonzo and LeBron play again.
See, you
If
put him on
Lon,
that
if,
would be fine too. See, that's what I'm saying. He fits on every team just because what he brings is so valuable. I really
I
want to
feel
see
like
him come back.
I do. Like I feel like he fits on the Warriors more than Chris Paul does.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Like I
Bro,
said, it's not
everyone
even.
will be shooting.
Yeah, I said like it's not even just those things that we talked about. Like obviously everything we've said is like his game, but he has the physical traits. He has the height. He's not going to get out. He would do a better guard. You would do a better job guarding Jimmy Butler than Drew Holiday did last year. Drew Holiday
Mm-hmm.
does not guard the wings that
Mm-hmm.
well. Lonzo Lonzo definitely has a longer wingspan and he's taller. So I would really love to see Lonzo Ball part of a contending team. He would do so much for them. Just needs to stay healthy. God damn it, just stay healthy, Lonzo. Uh,
Please. I would. There's so many when you started bringing up teams. There's so many teams I started looking at. I was
yeah,
like, well, when I brought up Bradley Bill earlier,
yeah,
instead
yeah.
of
If you
Bradley
had
Bill,
right,
Lonzo Ball would be
exactly,
insane.
exactly.
Right next to Victor Wembanyama would be
Yeah,
amazing
I
because
mean,
they
like, hey,
need a point guard. I mean, there's so much. I hope so much big things for Lonzo Ball and Lonzo Ball. If you do watch this, please come back to the NBA. You're, I hope you can come back.
so Lonzo is 6'6" with a 6'9" wingspan.
Okay.
I think Drew's 6'5" with a 6'7" wingspan. So just he's a little bit taller, a little bit longer arms. So I mean, and he just has it. I would love to see him play again. That's really it. All right. So I have another name, but I don't think it applies anymore. I talked
I
about it a little bit. Because I
feel
made
like
this list. I made this list a little bit ago. This isn't super recent, but I originally had Damian Lillard on this list, and we talked
oh,
about it. We talked about it. Damian Lillard been struggling, not shooting what he has been in the past. The Bucks were a mess under the new Doc Rivers regime, but I'll be damned. The Bucks are currently the second seed in the East. They've climbed. They've gone up,
they're
and
showing out.
it actually looks like they're figuring
Giannis
it
didn't even
out.
play last game.
They what?
Yeah, I didn't realize Giannis didn't play last game.
Giannis did not play against the Clippers.
And they
Uh,
beat that Clipper team.
Behind 41 points from Damian Lillard. Like I know we've done a lot of we talk a lot about this team, and I think for good reason because that the expectations were very high for this team going into this season. had hilarious ups and downs through the Doc Rivers and the Adrian Griffin eras. But I don't know. I think they might be figuring it out.
I think so.
They might be. All the players got the fire in them again, and I know it's just the sample size isn't huge, but Damian Lillard is looking. Maybe the game without Giannis gets him a little bit more comfortable. Get him more. He's probably more used to that environment where he doesn't have a superstar next to him. So maybe that game got him in his groove a little bit more. Maybe going forward, his shooting percentages will go back up. But like I hinted before, Adrian Griffin, the difference between Adrian Griffin and Doc Rivers
It's
is
different
it's insane, insane.
defense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think since All Star break, the Bucks are I think they're number one in defensive rating. Like
Yeah.
this, it's actually night and day. It's unbelievable how going from Adrian Griffin to Doc Rivers, even Doc Rivers, the guy the guy a lot of people didn't want their team to sign or hire. Like like we all know he was a good coach. Like he's still a good coach, but like the difference in this team is actually unreal. So
I mean,
I
also the additional pickup of getting Pat Bev
oh
was
yeah, Pat Bev is
huge.
huge for this team. Huge. The dog factor is growing exponentially. But yeah, like I said, I had Dame on this list. Will he stay on it? Well, I don't know. It's looking like they're bringing it back, but the Cavs are still half a game behind them, so nothing's set in stone. But they've climbed, and that's good. They're making progress. The team looks good, and I believe they're 6-0 since All Star break. So
6-0.
I
Oh,
believe so. I believe so.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear it for the Bucks.
I mean, they've beat down the Hornets a couple times, so it's kind of, it's kind of those games are kind of fluky, but they did beat the Timberwolves and the Clippers. So, and they beat the Clippers without Giannis. So, it's a team thing. The team is coming back.
Uh-huh.
I hope Dame can continue playing as well as he did last night. Obviously no guarantee of that, but yeah, 6 wins in a row for the Bucks after losing to the G League Grizzlies before All Star break. All right.
Can you hear my dog, by the way?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Um, yeah, I mean, that was my team that I was gonna pick up too. I mean,
Okay.
you said the player. I was thinking
Yeah.
about the Bugs, and they've been. It's not just an underwhelming list. It's just that I would have put the Bucks as one of the improving teams in the NBA. We shattered on Doc Rivers,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
he's telling us different, and he's telling us that I know you guys picked me up really early. I didn't want to be here, but now I'm here,
Yeah.
and I like that.
I mean, the press conferences, even not just from Doc, from the players too. Uh, like Dame in a recent one, he was like, yeah, Doc came in and he was like, "You guys aren't running this play. You guys don't run this play. I mean, we hate guarding that play against you. Let's put that play in the book." He's like, "Okay," and
Ooh,
then they add a
okay.
play, and then Dame's like, "Yeah, I mean, it felt good to run something that I've run before, run something I'm used to, something that works." So it really it's hard to, as much as I want to say that you know Doc Rivers is going to lose in the second round or whatever. Coaching matters apparently. Who knew, right? Coaching is a pretty big deal, and as superstar centric as the NBA has become, you never know. You never know. We clown Doc Rivers a lot. I just want to give him props. Just at least for now. I do want to say Doc Rivers has never had a player as good as Giannis on his team. obviously he's coached Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Rondo, Ray Allen, and he coached
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid, James Harden, coached Chris Paul, coached Blake Griffin. He's coached a lot of good players. He has not coached
Great.
he has not coached a Greek Freak before. He has not had a Greek Freak on his team with Damian Lillard next to him. So, as much as I want to say the Bucks don't stand a chance because they have Doc Rivers at coach, you really don't know what he might do with these two. So, I'm not fully out on the Bucks. I'm not fully in, but I I think the players at the very least are good enough to give them a chance, even against the one seed Celtics. But speaking from the expectations from preseason, the season was most certainly a disappointment at first. It's on the up and up, but
Yeah.
they are 7.5 games behind the Celtics. So not
It's a
ideal,
big stretch.
not ideal, but they're at least winning. So good for them. All right. Do you have another name, or is it or
Um,
were the Bucks your last team?
the Bucks were my last team. I
Okay.
was just gonna say like I was just gonna bring up a comparison. The Thunder right now, they they kind of look like the 2011 OKC Thunder.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's OKC. It was 2011 2012 OKC Thunder with the amount of youth that they have on their team and the amount of like how far they can push.
Hmm.
And honestly, I'm seeing good things for the Thunder now. I really hope they make it really deep in the playoffs. And they just really remind me of 2011 or
Okay.
2012.
Well,
I just wanted to bring that up just because the youth and all that. Yeah.
here's what I want to say. I had I didn't write this down, but the top the top seeds in the West, they're all kind of slipping a little bit. Timberwolves, I don't think the Timberwolves have beat a team over 500 since All-Star break.
Yeah.
The Clippers are still losing games. They probably shouldn't lose considering who's on the team. Uh their players, their star players are definitely susceptible to having some off nights. Uh And the Thunder, the problem isn't as big. Well, maybe it is
Nah.
ironically. Maybe it is ironically, but they definitely have a size problem. Uh, if you look at their roster, I mean, Chet Holmgren is the starting center, and he's playing like 30 plus minutes a game,
Hmm.
and he's a stick. He's a stick. So it's there. I
Wembanyama's
believe
a stick.
he's a stick, bro. You can't tell me he's not a stick.
He's a stick, but like
He's not,
Wembanyama's not a stick. Rudy Gobert's a stick.
bro. Chet's a stick. He's lanky as hell. Okay, what I'm
No.
saying though, or what I'm saying though is, a couple nights ago, Nurkic 31 boards against the Suns.
Oh.
The next game, Anthony Davis dominating the Thunder. There's especially once it becomes more exploitable against these other Western teams that have good big men, they might have a pretty big problem. In those matchups, like just reading the teams that are lower seeds, it's Pelicans, Suns, Kings, Mavericks, Lakers. Like those teams, they they got boys. They got boys down there. Mavericks to a lesser extent, but we don't even know
Mhm.
if they're going to be in the playoffs or in the so. But those other teams though, every other team in the West, they have boys down there. And I feel like especially in a playoff series, in a 7 game series, Chet might get bodied a little bit. Like not in the sense of like he's gonna get dominated himself, but like he's gonna be taking some hits for sure from these guys that are heavier than him. Like I'm sure there's a side by side somewhere, but him standing next to Valanciunas has got to be one of the
Oh.
nastiest weight matchups. Like it's stuff like that where I'm like, I'm a little bit worried for the Thunder when it comes to playoff time because the playoffs are long. If you're really making a deep run, you got to go through lots of guys. So if he's going against uh Valanciunas and then he goes against Gobert and then he goes against Jokic, it's like how durable is Chet Holmgren? How much can he withstand from these big body dudes that are probably trying to rough him up a little bit, you know? Like he's a young guy. He's obviously not heavy. Like it feels like that would be the inevitable game plan against the Thunder. Uh get those boards. Get those boards. They got out rebounded by 20 boards against the Lakers. There's an
Yeah.
issue. There's an issue.
Um. Well, I don't know what to say. I'm not about Chet. Like here, look, Wemby's a stick, but he's
He's a
showing that
stick.
he could do much more as a center.
He's much taller than Chet also.
But, but yeah, but
He's much
Chet's
taller.
taller than a lot of centers in the NBA. The NBA, like most centers, are 6'10", 6'11". Chet is 7'2",
Yeah, but
and I'm
still, I
pretty sure
mean,
his shoes make him 7'3".
well, well, we're comparing Chet to Victor Wembanyama, so I mean,
They're both
we're
rookies.
only getting so far.
They're both rookies. It's their first time playing in the NBA. If you want to put it like, I'm gonna put it like that.
No, I mean that's fair.
Like, I mean, there's a lot of centers that are 6'10". Actually, I'm gonna lie. That's a lie. I would say the only person that's like 6'10", 6'11", that's lanky and gets rebounds if he wants to get rebounds is KD.
Okay.
And I think Chet needs to start studying skinny people game and try to figure out a way to box out players. Oh, expect like here, look, Luca's like 6'7", 6'6".
Okay.
He's not athletically that guy,
Definitely not.
but he can get rebounds. And I don't understand
Yeah.
why this skinny man named Chet Holmgren
Well,
can't get
well, here's the
rebounds.
other thing. Like I said, he's their starting center. If you look at the Oklahoma City depth chart, it
But
gets worse. It gets worse. Their
really,
backup center right now,
is it Kenrich?
according to the ESPN depth chart, their backup center is Jalen Williams, who is out, and he's a 6'9" forward. The third string center is Mike Muscala, and the fourth string is Bismack Biyombo.
They need to start playing Bismack. I'm not gonna lie, like
He's 6'8".
Bismack was a starting center for several teams. Like I don't know what teams here. I'm not gonna remember the teams he played on after the Hornets. He was a starting center for the Hornets. That's why they picked him up, and 1,000 years ago. And then he played for the Suns as a center. I mean, you just need. I feel like the Thunder need to play players. Well, if he's comfortable at playing at center, just let him play and see how it goes from right there. Isn't Evan Mobley 6'8"?
I feel like he's at least 6'9". Let me check. He's 6'11".
Oh, never mind.
6'11", bro.
Whole different breed.
Like I'll give up,
Um,
but just to go, just not to go too deep into it because we could definitely do that once we see who they're actually playing. But I'm just saying there's a very legitimate issue. Uh, if especially if God forbid Chet gets hurt, I don't want
yes.
that. If Chet gets hurt, their starting centers are Mike Muscala or Biombo. Like there's no size on this team. Like there's no there's none of the, there's nobody down there that really wants to get dirty. People just talk about the guys that do the dirty work. They don't really have a guy that wants to do the dirty work. They really don't.
It's only Shy and Jalen Williams, to be honest. I mean Dort
I
too,
mean
but he's only
that's
there for defense. He's like a what's his name? Uh He played for the Bulls. Ron Harper for the
Okay, yeah,
Thunder. To be honest,
sure,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
way how the Thunder are built, like oh, they felt blessed when they picked up Chet, but now it's like just getting them boards. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because last year when Chet didn't play, Jalen Williams made sense putting at center because the way how he's playing, he was averaging like 18, 8, and 8. Like I'm just gonna say that it's a whole guess, but last year he was filling in for that center role for Chet, and he actually like did good as a center or power forward, whatever. The same thing. They're both
yeah.
down there.
No,
He gets scrappy down there.
no, I get you, and I think that like I said, they're still the second seed. I think they're fine for the regular season. My
Yeah.
concern is when it comes playoff time, when everybody is going to be going 100%.
Uh huh.
Are they going to be able to get through that? They aren't going to win many games if they're giving up 30 rebounds to Nurkic or if they're getting out rebounded by 20 to the Lakers. Like those kinds of things, those are very legitimate issues that they're going to have to deal with one way or another come playoff time. And I don't know how they're going to get by Jokic. That's if they get to him, I don't know how they're going to get by him. It's going to take a lot. Uh
I feel like they're gonna have to like. Oh, that's gonna be tough for me. Like if they play the Timberwolves or the Nuggets, wouldn't that be the biggest problem too? Like if they get that deep,
yeah.
Timberwolves have two starting bigs.
Yeah, that's what I'm
What is
saying.
chicken?
That's what I'm saying. They have it's a problem. Especially if it's a team with two good big men. Chet can only guard one of them. So, that's like I said, I don't want to say that these teams are disappoint. They're disappointing a little bit since All-Star break since they just haven't
Uh,
been as good as they were before, but I'm worried. I'm a little bit worried more for the Thunder, I think, than the other teams.
oh really? Or
Even though they haven't been disappointing as much since the All-Star break. But I feel like their flaws are are becoming very apparent. All right, I only have one more name. We don't really have to go in depth with it, but I just wanted to point out how bad Jordan Poole has been this season. Uh, when he went to the
he's got
Wizards,
like 30 points one game.
one game. I just wanted to point
Day
out.
one.
I wanted to point out that a lot of people were hoping or
Oh, they didn't
expecting
win.
maybe once he's on a small market team, he has his own. He could do whatever he wants on the team. He could just have fun or whatever. And he's been pretty bad. He's been pretty bad.
Oh look at
Uh,
them.
that's putting it lightly. He's gotten benched 16 and a half points on 40% from the field, 31% from three. It's a disaster for him. Not
Is
gonna
this the
lie.
last 10 games?
No, that's the whole season.
Oh, okay. The last. Never mind. I was gonna hype up Jordan Poole for a second, but okay,
I had
he
him on
only
my
went.
I had him on my list for reasons because like I said we were hoping that he would just shoot lights out, just entertain the people for 82 games or whatever. Just do his own thing, but he's been really bad, and the Wizards are literally tied with the Pistons for last place. They're tied. The
Okay.
Pistons lost 29 straight or whatever it was. They lost like 29, 28, 29 straight. And they have the
Yeah.
same record as the Wizards. So I just had to throw them on there just because it's such a disaster that I had to mention it. That was my last name.
I was thinking about my list a couple of days ago. It's like, what am I gonna talk about? I mean, we could talk about the Warriors and how they lost to the Celtics like 50 points. And it's like
I
you
mean,
you touched on the Warriors earlier. I mean, I guess some points you left out was like I like that Clay starting. Well, he's not starting anymore, but he's playing off the bench and he's
yeah.
scoring.
Yeah.
But that 50 point game, if I can find it, where's the Celtics? Oh my gosh, ridiculous! I know Curry went, I think 2 for 13. I don't know if
Yeah, it was
that's
pretty
field
bad.
goals or 3 pointer.
I feel like that was total. I don't think he hit a three. Maybe he didn't hit a three in the first half. I don't know if he hit one later though.
Well, he has 4 points. Never mind, he had four
Okay,
points.
well, nope,
So
didn't hit
I
a
don't
three.
think he shot a three,
Definitely didn't hit a three.
unless he did a three and a free throw.
No,
But
definitely
like their bench did better. What's his name? Lester Cazones, or I don't know how to say his last name.
not.
Well, like he had 17, and the second highest player that got oh yeah, these are bench players, dude. With
No,
Lester
the
Cazones,
game was
Moses Moody, and Jerome Robinson.
the game was over pretty early.
Yeah,
It was over in the third. That's putting it lightly.
but they not Lester. Moses Moody had the same number of minutes as like Steph Curry.
Mm.
Are we okay? Are we seeing that the Celtics is showing that they're actually dominating the league?
Um, who did they just lose to? The Cavs, right? They lost to the Cavs without
Um,
Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell and
Never
Max
mind.
Strus. You hear apparently Dean Wade put a put his nuts on the Celtics.
What?
Dean Wade, bro. He hold on. Let me pull up what the stats were. Uh, he
What the fuck?
he put up 23. He 8 of 11 from the field, 6 of 9 from three, and most of those points were in the fourth quarter, and they came back from down a lot, like 20, I think, 20 something.
Oh my gosh,
Dean Wade. Now,
that's insane.
now here's what I will say about the Celtics, because obviously on paper, great team. Don't really need to talk about it. Someone mentioned that, because there was 19 seconds left and the Celtics were down one. Tatum pretty much dribbled the clock out and then took a fadeaway and he missed. Um, People were saying that the one legitimate uh, worry you can have for the Celtics is like the hero ball type of basketball IQ that they
Uh,
have. That kind of thing where Tatum, because apparently every time it gets down to it, Tatum just pulls a fade. He just like it. That's
he's
like
trying
his
to have a Kobe moment.
exactly. It's like his go-to in the clutch moment. He'll try to do a fadeaway. Apparently, in the last 5 minutes of games, this is unofficial, but in the last 5 minutes of games, when he pulls a fadeaway, he has made 12 and missed 25. This is unofficial. This is some Reddit work, so I can't confirm this 100%. But someone put
I
up
believe it.
someone made a compilation of all the times he's done it, so the proof is there. So if
Okay,
you could watch the video, determine for yourself. I don't know for sure if it's a perfect compilation of every single fadeaway, whatever. But but I do have concerns about what that team turns into when it gets clutch time, because it's not pretty. It's not pretty, and Jason Tatum still. I feel like he still has to prove himself more than
oh yeah.
where people are putting him. Like, there's a reason he's not in the MVP conversation, even though his team is the best team in the league by like 5 games.
Well, I mean, look at the roster on that team. It's insane. Like,
So even I
it's
say
such a good team.
I say even outside of the team, the fact that so many people can look at Jason Tatum and say you're not as deserving of MVP as these other guys whose teams have way less wins than yours. The fact that it's so easily pushed aside, um, I feel like is like is it's a sign that he definitely has to prove himself this playoffs. Like if there was like if he I feel like if he doesn't if they don't go far this year, then it might be over.
Oh,
I don't know what it'll take if not this team. So, you know, I'm not concerned for the Celtics or anything, but I am a bit skeptical a little bit.
okay, I mean, getting lost like that, I feel like that would make me feel skeptical.
I'm skeptical, but I mean, they're clearly the team is clearly good. Like, it's not. There's no debating that.
I mean, they're dominating the league right now. They have the
Yeah,
most wins and the least losses.
yeah, yeah. So
So
no, I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, I think those were the the closing thoughts. I think we're gonna. I think that might be wraps for this episode. PJ, you wanna walk us out of here?
yes, sir. Thank you guys for watching, listening, wherever you are at. You are, and I hope you just leave a comment on whatever your thoughts are from what we had talked about. I
Yeah.
know probably a lot of people are not gonna like my Bradley Beal comments, but yeah, feel free to prove me wrong and like Bradley Beal again or something like that.
Yeah, leave a comment.
All right, of
Tell us who your disappointment is for this season or for post All Star break.
course.
Tell us who you expected more out of in the comments.
Well, it's been fun. It's your boy PJ, my homie Jacob up there, over there, wherever
Yes,
he's at,
sir. It's the goat.
and we'll catch you guys next time.
Until
Thank you.
next week, y'all. Peace.
Peace.